Well, Tara, thank you so much for being with me here on the Entrepreneurial Success Podcast. I'm really excited to talk to you today, which is all about pivoting in your business, but also we're going to touch up a little bit on email marketing, which I know is a huge thing for so many people. But before we get started, why don't I just hand over to you so you can introduce yourself to the audience and tell us a little bit about what you do.
Hey, so I'm Tara Fitness. Yes, that is my last name. Lots of people always ask me that. I didn't change it. I was born with that. So I'm a copywriter and an email marketer. So I do a little bit of copywriting. I do a little bit of web design, a bit of social media marketing. Basically, I do end-to-end email marketing. So if it revolves around getting people onto your email list or making sales from your email list, I can help you out. So that's basically where I'm at. I've spent the last 12 to 18 months really honing in on working on email marketing and improving my email marketing skills. And I've found that that's the area that I really love. And that's the area that I'm able to really help people. So that's me in a nutshell.
And I'm so excited to talk to you about that today, which is why you're here. But before we get there, because I know the audience, everybody is ready with a pen in their hand, notebook, ready to make some notes. But before we get there, I'm always intrigued by everybody's success story. And this is something that always fascinates me because there's got to be a point in your life where you go, oh my gosh, I'm going to go and start my business. And then in your case as well, which we're going to talk about, there were so many areas where you pivoted into different not strategies, but different niches and industries as well.
Yeah.
So talk to us a little bit about how that started for you and how that led to where you are now.
Yes. So I think the first thing I'll say is that my success story really began with a huge failure story. And I think as much as that sounds really awful, I'm actually so happy to say that. I'm not ashamed of that at all. I'm so proud to say that my first attempt at business didn't go so well because I learned so much. So when I initially began my business, I started working as a personal trainer in a gym. I'd previously worked in the welfare industry. I was a child protection case manager, so something very different to what I do now. And I just got to the point where I'd had enough. I didn't want to deal with the most negative parts of people's lives anymore. So I decided to move into personal training because it's something that I really loved. Training in the gym in particular was really important to me, and fitness has been a huge part of my life for such a long time. So it seemed like a natural progression to move into personal training. I'd actually completed my qualifications for my own personal knowledge. And so when I got to the point where I thought, okay, I need to move here, I need to go somewhere else, it just kind of happened. It just seemed like the right idea at the time. So without really thinking too much of it, I kind of jumped in the deep end and started running my own business as a personal trainer in a gym. And yeah, that the first 9 months was, I'm not even sure what word to use, but oh my, it was hectic. It was really hectic. I mean, I loved it. I loved the training clients face to face. I loved working in the gym every day, but wow, there was so much to learn. It was a very steep learning curve. And I mean, had a few things not changed in my life, I probably would have stuck with that and continued to build and kind of seen where that ended up. But I ended up, after about 8-9 months of working there, I got a phone call from my nana, and she just had a second heart attack. Oh, and she was living in a 4-bedroom, 2-bathroom, double garage house. My pop had gone into a nursing home a couple of years earlier, and she was just not able to manage the house anymore. But because she'd been caring for Pop for so long before he went into the nursing home, the house was just, they'd let it go a bit. It needed to be jazzed up again. It needed a few things being repaired, a full repaint, restyle. So Nana rang me and said, I've heard you're looking at moving back down near us. Do you want to come and renovate? Like, would you mind? Like, come and live in my house, and will you manage the renovation? Which is what I did for the next 9 months. And so that was amazing. I really I think for me, like that was a golden opportunity to really help out my nana and give back to my family. And I really, really enjoyed it. And in the end, she sold the property, and like it was incredible. I'm so proud of the job that we did to help her.
Yeah.
But for me, I guess my business kind of went on the back burner a little bit. So when I left the gym, my plan was to move into online fitness coaching, which I started doing for a little bit. I was working with some of my previous gym clients, but then I didn't really put my head down and focus on lead generation. I didn't focus on getting new clients on board. So eventually my clients dropped off, and I kind of found myself thinking, well, okay, what the hell do I do now? Like I just really didn't know what I was doing in relation to building an online business. And to be honest, in hindsight, I spent far too much time, the time that I did have, doing things that weren't going to move my business forward.
Yeah.
So one of the reasons I've now moved into things like email marketing is that I love doing the setup, like the back end setup, that getting like elbows deep into an email marketing system. Like I'm cool with that. I love that. Most people are like, oh my God, I keep you do that for me. Whereas I love that. The problem was that because I really enjoy that, I spent far too much time in that and not enough time on that lead generation, not enough time building my audience, which would then become the group of people who put money in my bank.
Yeah.
So, I guess what happened then is once we sold Nana's house, my partner and I actually moved over to the UK. So obviously you can hear I'm Australian. We moved to the UK from Australia for 2 years, and that gave me a really good opportunity to just put everything aside and just focus on building my online business.
Yeah.
And I in that 18 months of just being able to sit there and just do the work, I learned so much about like running an online business, about marketing, about copywriting, like just everything that you need to know about running a business. I feel like in that time I learned it. And that was a huge eye-opener for me, because I guess two things happened. One is I spent a ton of money. That kind of wasn't ideal. So in the first 2 years of my online business, I threw away 22,000 Australian dollars. So that was it's not ideal. I wish I hadn't thrown away that $22,000, but I do see it as an investment in my education.
Yes.
I mean, if you had gone to uni and done a uni degree, you would have paid that sort of money to learn how to do the stuff that I've learned. I guess I've learned how to do anyway, because I've worked with mentors, I've studied different courses, and I've just spent the time in things learning how to do that sort of stuff. So that happened. The other thing that happened is that I started to become more and more disgruntled with personal training. I found that I was spending so much time working in my business and then working on other people's training that I was actually neglecting my own. So I was finding that while I had clients whose health and fitness was improving, my own personal health and fitness was going downhill, and it was going downhill fast. And I actually have a degenerative back condition from a back injury that I suffered when I was in the military. And basically for me, being fit and strong is the only way I know how to reduce my back pain. Yeah. So for me, moving into that period of not being very fit and healthy also meant that I pushed myself back into that chronic pain, and dealing with that day in, day out. So I definitely struggled with that. And I also struggled with the frustrations around doing so much work with health and fitness that wasn't actually helping me at all. So I actually had ran a launch in May 2018. I think that's right. May 2018. So yeah, like almost 2 years ago. It's a little bit crazy to think it was that long ago, but 2 years ago, I ran a launch and I said to myself, like, this is it. This is the one that's going to work. I'd put so much work into it. I'd put basically like 4 months worth of effort into it in the lead up. Opened my cart, and then I think 7 days later closed it, and I had no sales, and it just shattered me. And I basically decided from then that I had done absolutely everything that I could in order to make my fitness business work, and just went, no, I'm done. I'm out. I can't do this anymore. So the positive from that is that being in England, it was summer, and it was quite a nice one as well. So I spent the next 2 months sitting out in the garden, just kind of pondering and thinking, what am I going to do now?
Yeah.
And after a while of kind of moping around and feeling sorry for myself, I realized that there were things that I really loved about running my business, and there were things that I didn't like. And the things that I loved focused on writing, and as I said before, that system setup area. Yeah. So it was basically I think July 2018 when I actually set up my personal website and started blogging. And then it was about 6 months later, or I think around that time, I actually discovered my mentor that I still work with. He reads all of my content, everything I write. He reads it before it goes anywhere. So I kind of had stumbled across his work a couple of months before I closed my fitness business, and he was a personal trainer who had run an online fitness business and then pivoted into copywriting. And stuff that he was saying was just so me. It just really sunk in, and it just I was interested in it. Like, it was the kind of person that when they send you emails, you can't wait to open the email and read it. Like, you stop everything and go, I need to read this email because this person just gets me. And so I read his emails for quite a long time, and then discovered that he was effectively building a business on writing emails, so copywriting emails for businesses. And so I did a couple of his courses on email copywriting, and decided a while ago, so this is probably 18 months ago, I launched a service around email copywriting, similar to what he had done. And so I had some interest at the time, but I guess I always felt like it wasn't quite right. For some reason, it didn't quite stick. And so while I was doing that and still doing a little bit of copywriting for people, I was still doing some web design on the side. I was still doing some email stuff as well. And one thing I did like around that time was actually throw up a gig on Fiverr around setting up people's convert kit for them, because I think there was like one other person on Fiverr who had a gig for setting up your convert kit account. And all of a sudden I was just overwhelmed with these messages from people saying, do you know how to do this? Like, can you use ConvertKit? Like, I either I don't want to do it, or I can't figure it out, or I don't have the time, or just so many different questions. And they're like, can you just do it for me? Like, how much is it to do it for me? And all of a sudden I realized that it's not just about the email copywriting. It's not just about the system set up. It's about having a contact that you can go to get everything within that system set up. And I realized that that's where there was a kind of a gap in the market, because everyone's kind of doing, like my mentor, he was doing the emails, but not doing the system setup. So I essentially launched a service where I was like doing everything from start to finish. And all of a sudden I've become this kind of one-stop shop for everything revolving around lead generation. And yeah, finally I feel like, having pivoted multiple times from in-person personal training to online training to writing to email copywriting and then to end-to-end email marketing, those 5 pivots have all, I guess, like built on to each other.
Yeah.
And it's kind of been my journey to figuring out what I wanted to do and what works and what I love. And so now when I get on the phone with people, like when I think back to doing sales calls with people back when I was running my fitness business, like I did them and they were okay, but I was never super confident. I was never, like, they never felt comfortable. Whereas now I can get on the phone with, like, for example, a CEO of a massive company and chat away about email marketing and setup, and it's easy. It's simple. Like, I don't even feel like it's a sales call. And I feel like that comes from finally, like, understanding what's not working, like paying attention to what's not working, what's not feeling comfortable, and not being afraid to pivot into what is working well, and not being afraid to niche down into those areas. And obviously I niched down and then back up again, because I felt like the going like super niched wasn't quite working for me. So I kind of came back up a level, and I feel like I found my area. And yeah, that's kind of how I went from having no idea what I was doing as a business owner to putting money in the bank. So yeah, that's kind of my story, I guess.
What I love about your story is it's so transparent. And if there's anybody here listening or watching this video who can completely resonate with Tara, everybody's got this kind of idea that once you go into business and you start setting up your business and you're running with it, it's going to be like an overnight change. And that's going to be a business you're going to be so happy about. And you're going to run it. You're going to be successful. But it's never in a straight line. And that's what I love about your story, because you're so transparent about where you started. And it has knocked you sideways in a good way, because you've also learned and you've kind of figured out as you went on your own journey what kind of resonated with you, but also where your real passion lies. Now, that's not something you would have discovered on that first day when you decided, I'm going to start a business.
No. And I think had I been overwhelmed with clients back then, I would have had no idea what to do with them either. I could just, I think back to what I thought I wanted back then. And had I got it, I would have like ran screaming, but like ran for the hills, because I would have had no idea how to manage a large client load. Like even now, when I look at the clients that I'm working with at the moment and the needs that they have, I would have had no idea. Even 2 years ago, I probably would have looked at it and went, well, I can probably work with that, but I'm not 100% sure. And I guess that all comes from just experience and like doing the work and making the mistakes. And the most important thing is being committed to learning from the mistakes that you made. And I think that's definitely, if there's one thing that I can say that I honestly have done the whole time I've been a business owner, is that I've been committed to learning from my mistakes.
Because you build your confidence.
As you do that, yeah, absolutely. And as long as you do that and just keep putting in the work, you will get there eventually. Yeah. You just got to keep and it's really hard not to see stuff as business ending setback. And I tell you, I've had many of those, and I've been in that place where I've been like, I don't even know why I'm doing this anymore. Like, why am I bothering? I don't want to do this. I'm hemorrhaging money. I'm getting nowhere. I remember I used to say so much, like, I am working my ass off, and for what? For what? Like, what's the point of all this hard work? And yeah, I guess if you're one of those people who are in that stage and you're thinking, why am I doing all of this hard work? Keep doing it. Definitely keep doing it, because the people who achieve the success that you're looking for are the people who keep going even when they feel like this.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because if you walk away now, if you walk away when you're feeling like that, you won't succeed, because you're making the decision not to. Whereas if you keep going and you keep trying and pivot if you need to, don't be afraid to pivot, to change it up, to do something new. Definitely just keep trying, and you will get there.
Well done. You did it. And now you're absolutely loving what you're doing, because you took that time and that experience to kind of decide, this is what I like and this is what I don't like. And then you moved from there, you pivoted again. So
definitely. I did.
There's no rule of thumb of how many times you need to pivot in order to find the business and the real alignment with you of what you want to do. And heavens
Absolutely.
know, maybe you'll be doing this for the next 5 years, and then you'll find something else again that you're absolutely
Yeah,
passionate about,
absolutely.
and then you'll pivot again.
That's
So
right.
yeah,
Yeah.
no, congratulations and well done for pushing
Thank you.
through. Now,
Thank you.
I'm really excited to talk a little bit about email marketing, but also copywriting, because I know that's one of the
Yep.
two of the things that you're absolutely passionate about.
Yep.
So talk to us and just explain a little bit. When we talk about copywriting, obviously some of the audiences would know what copywriting is, but some of them
Yep.
would be feeling like, okay, this is a new word to me. I'm not quite sure what this means and how that relates to email marketing. So talk to us first a
Yep.
little bit about copywriting, and then we'll move over to email marketing.
Yeah. So basically, when you talk about, I guess, business writing, like business writing from a marketing perspective, you've got two different types of writing. One side is copywriting, and the other side is content writing. So you would have all seen content writing. That's like blog posting, like scripts for YouTube videos. Like even things for, like, if you've got scripts for your podcasting, or even like when you put this podcast up, you'll have no doubt like a blurb at the bottom that describes what this podcast is. That's going to be, I guess, a level of content writing.
Yeah.
That one kind of blurs the lines a little bit between content writing and copywriting as well, because copywriting is something that you want someone to take a specific action as a result of that writing. So you can either have like your website copy. So basically anything that's written on your website, with the exception of your blogs, all of your website copy, all of your content on your homepage, that's copywriting.
Yeah.
When you're looking at, like, you're driving down the freeway and there's ads on the side of the road, that's copywriting. The same as like radio ads, TV ads. People write those sales scripts. That's copywriting it again. So probably the simplest way to describe it is writing when you're actively trying to sell something. That's copywriting in a nutshell.
Yeah.
So when it comes to emails, I really send two types of emails to my email list. One of them is content writing, in the form of sending my blog posts to my list to let them know that I've just published a new blog post. They're generally all about education. So there's a whole bunch of stuff in there, I guess, teaching people how to do something, or supporting people with a problem or an issue that they have and presenting a solution. Whereas I also regularly send sales emails to my list. And now I say sales emails, that doesn't necessarily mean that I'm trying to sell something either. It means that I'm trying to get my list, like the people on my list, my subscribers, to take a specific action.
Yeah.
So it might be like, for example, I've just released a new ebook that I want people to go and have a look at. I'll write that email and take them through a journey that eventually gets them to the point where hopefully they can't wait to go and read that ebook.
Yeah.
So I guess that's basically that's
how the two links together.
Yeah.
Now, when we talk about email marketing, there's always those kind of negative responses that you can get where people say, well, it's spamming. Yes, there's an innate part of that. And there's also the kind of feedback that I get sometimes, but people are not opening up my emails. So what is it worth? Why should I keep writing emails and sending emails to my audience? But what, from your experience, would you say is the real benefits when it comes to email marketing?
So there's a couple of different things. Firstly, I'll jump on the spamming comment that you made. And I have a belief that there's two different types of email. There's spam and there's interesting emails. And that's basically where I like split the difference. And to use as an example of that, I actually have a number of people on my email list so I market to freelancers, online business owners, and like the decision makers in large businesses.
Yeah.
I have multiple people on my email list who are there from my old fitness business email list. I have multiple people on my list who are not even remotely interested in running an online business at all. They're not even remotely interested in email marketing. And I talk about email marketing a lot, yet they open and read my emails consistently. Consistently, because they like the content, because the emails are interesting. And actually, I was talking with a friend the other day, and she said to me, I read every single one of your emails. I get really excited when I see your name in my inbox, and I read all of them. And yeah, I got to be honest, I don't know half of the stuff that you're talking about. Like sometimes I have no idea what you're going on about, but I really like the stories.
Yeah.
And so I think that's the key takeaway. If you are being interesting and entertaining, people don't see it as spam at all. So I guess that's the first thing. And the second thing about, like you kind of asked about the positives of email marketing, the benefits of email marketing. The first thing is that unlike social media, there's no algorithm. There's no one who chooses where it goes and whether you get to see stuff. I mean, yes, you do have the potential to end up in someone's junk box, but I think a lot of people check their junk boxes anyway, but you've got two places to end up: inbox, junk box. That's kind of basically it. Whereas when you post something on, I guess, any social media network, you're putting that in the hands of the algorithm. And like, you might be lucky, like you might have, say, a thousand friends or 1,000 followers on a social network, and you put up a post and 5 people might see that. Whereas I know if I have 1,000 people on my email list, then that's going to land in the email account of generally that 1,000 people. Like, give or take a few, but it's going to land in the account of most of those people. And yeah, it's going to end up in the junk box for some. Others are just going to skip past it and hit delete. But even if you're getting, say, I don't know, 25% of those people who see your email, that's probably going to be like 24.5% more than are actually going to see your content on a social media network. So that's the first thing. So you're literally going to get your content in front of more people by sticking with email marketing over social media marketing. The second thing that you've got, and this is probably even more important than the last thing, is that only people who've opted into your list receive your emails. So they've already met you. They've seen your content somewhere. They've read your content. They've downloaded your lead magnet. They've watched a video of you. They've read something that you've done before. And chances are they've also read a couple of your other emails as well. So they're more engaged. They're naturally, they're already more engaged than anyone else, because they haven't just gone, okay, well, I'll just click like, because I click like on everything, like all these different groups, and I follow like 600 groups on this social media site. They've decided, like, they've given you permission to put your content in their email inbox. And I think that's really, really powerful. That's something that is definitely worth, like, being proud of when people say to you, like, actually, yeah, I want you to email me and tell me what's going on. So I guess that leads me into the third point, which is around the email opt-in rates. The email open and click rates. The first thing I'd say is, do you open every single email that comes into your inbox?
No.
I know that I certainly don't. So if you're looking at your stats and thinking, God, why are only like 20% of people like opening my emails? Just think that, yeah, like you probably did, like, you're probably one of those stats of people who don't open other people's emails. So you've got to bear that in mind. You also have to bear in mind that people have got stuff on, people have got things to do, people get busy, they don't always get to it. And the third thing is, like, if you put, say, like, let's say on average, most people will send, say, like between 1 and 3 emails a week. So let's say you send 2 emails a week. Often you'll find that if you put an email in someone's inbox and they don't have time to get to it, and then you put another one in their inbox, they're probably not going to read both. So just kind of, I guess, try and be okay with that. When you think about how many email lists you're on, how many people do you actually reply to? How many of those people do you consistently read their emails every single day? You love the content that they put out. You feel like it resonates with you so much. But have you ever hit reply? I mean,
Rarely.
there's plenty. Yeah,
Very rarely.
Exactly.
Because
So,
I'm almost wondering, like, are they actually going to see my reply?
yeah, exactly. And so, yeah, think about it from that perspective too. Just because, like, even if people are opening it and you're thinking nobody ever responds, like, I feel like I'm not actually getting anywhere.
Yeah.
That's just the little kind of that's your little self-doubt munchkin,
Yeah.
running around in your head, like trying to push your I'm not good enough button.
Yeah.
And yeah, don't let it.
Yeah.
Don't let it at all, because that'll tear you apart. You've got to remember the good things. You've got to drag out the positives, because it does work. It does pay off. People do read your content. They really do. Trust me, they do. They read it. They might not tell you about it.
Yeah. A couple of things that I want to touch up on there. The first thing you mentioned, obviously, one of the benefits of your email marketing is your email list. It's not a social media platform. Let's face it, social media platforms you don't own. And I always say that your email list is your business asset. You own it. You are 100%. In full control of your email list. So I just wanted to touch upon that. Then also, just referring back to what you said about stories in the emails. Mm-hmm. The fastest and the quickest way, and this is for the audience now, if you're listening and watching this video, the fastest and the quickest way you can build a relationship with your audience is through stories. Okay. Now that is a completely different topic, and we can talk for hours on that.
We can. Yeah.
If there's one thing I really want to say that you have to understand, it's that building a relationship with your audience through your emails is entirely possible. Okay.
Yes.
And then touching upon that is, if you only have a 10% open rate on your emails, see it this way. The glass is either full or it's empty. Half full or half empty.
Yeah.
Okay.
Definitely.
That 10% that open up your emails, concentrate on those 10%. Don't worry about the ones, the 90% that didn't open your emails. That's fine. That's okay. You've got to learn to be okay with it. But the 10% that open up your emails, it means that they related to the story you told them through your email. But it also meant that now you're one step closer to start communicating with them more and building and establishing a relationship. Now, evidently, yes, your email is going to become to a point where you are going to sell your products or your services. That's why you're in business. You want to get to that point. But then when you get to that point, actually selling your products or services is going to be so much easier, because now you have a relationship with your audience. You have a relationship with that 10% that open up your emails. And I just really wanted to zone in on that a little bit. And I hope you don't mind me saying that, Tara.
No, that's all exactly right.
I just wanted to, I wanted to focus on that a little bit for everybody, just to understand the benefits of email marketing. And Tara's used some amazing, she's given some amazing feedback here on what you need to concentrate on, what you need to think. But oh my goodness, email marketing is not spammy if you do it right. It's not spammy if you concentrate on the fact that you want to build a relationship.
Yeah.
And like I said, maybe we should do another podcast episode, and we'll talk all about the stories, because I feel like important.
I feel like we should.
Yes. Okay. Okay. So I wanted to ask you, because I think this segues a little bit into people now basically asking, well, how can I write really cool emails? Or how can I write really good emails that can resonate with my audience, so I can start building that relationship? So do you have a couple of tips that you can share with the audience as to how to write some really good emails?
Yep. So the first thing that I'll say is start with a story. Start every single email with some sort of story. So like I said, like obviously I'm an email marketer. I kind of mostly sit at home with my dogs. I work from home. I don't do I don't have this like massive social life or anything like that, but I do go swimming at the pool sometimes. I ride my bike regularly. I'm also a volunteer firefighter. And the amount of stories that I get from that, for example, I wrote an email to my list a couple of weeks ago about learning to drive the fire truck. And like when I say that, you're like, how the hell can you take learning to drive the fire truck and talk about email marketing?
Yeah.
That's kind of the key in the middle. So there's a few different, there's you can kind of go really into depth, or kind of keep it at an easier level. But what I will give you is kind of a really quick rundown of where to start with writing solid emails that your list wants to read. The first thing is start with a story. Mm-hmm. The second thing is tell them a lesson, give them a lesson. So take that story and make a connection to whatever it is that you're trying to teach your audience, or that you're trying to support your subscribers with. So turn that into the lesson, and then at the end, add a call to action.
Yeah.
So you want them to take action in one way or another. So that might be, go and read this blog post, go and watch this video, buy my product, hit reply and tell me how you're going with this.
I just quickly want to highlight those 3 tips again that Tara is giving you. And basically the first one is, when you write an email, think about a good story that you can tell. Now, it doesn't have to be 500 pages. Okay.
God,
it can be 1 or 2 paragraphs.
Nice and short. Yeah.
1 or 2 paragraphs, just a story. The reason for the story is mainly because people can relate to it, and people love stories. Let's face it. Stories are really, really the go-to go. Exactly. Yeah. And then go from then, segue over to teaching. Why is that story related to what you want to teach? And I love analogies. I always use so many analogies whenever I do public speaking, my emails, my podcast. I love using lots of analogies. So from that, then obviously go into teaching, do your teach, have a couple of pointers there that you want to point out, and then have a call to action at the end. Now, the call to action, like Tara said, can be anything. Either hit reply, tell me what you thought about this, or go sign up, get added to my email list, or to a Facebook group that you've created. Anything like that. The call to action is really important, because once they take that action, it's almost what I call a micro commitment. So
definitely.
By them taking that action, it means that they want taking 1 step closer to working with you, obviously wanting to get closer to what you're doing. So it's really important. So story, teach, call to action, those 3 things. Okay.
Yep.
My gosh, Tara, I think we're really going to do another podcast on storytelling, because my brain is now already starting to run, and I'm just thinking of all the other things I want to tell the audience. But I think let's keep that for another podcast before we
write them down and send them to me. Yeah, let's do that. Definitely.
Before we finish off the podcast, let me just ask you, because you've got a fantastic freebie available for the audience. Why don't you just tell the audience a little bit about that? And obviously, for those of you listening or watching this video, we'll make the link available down below in the show notes. But talk to us about what that is and what that looks like.
So I have a freebie that I'm offering at the moment. It's called the 57-minute email list. And the reason I call it that is because basically, once you grab the freebie, if you follow everything exactly like how I tell you to, you can go from having no email list at all to a lead magnet and a working email list like within an hour. And I created this not because it's going to allow you to develop the most amazing lead magnet that you've ever had in your life. Like this is not going to be your be all and end all email marketing system, but it will be your first. And that's the thing, because if you spend far too much time in analysis paralysis, playing around with systems like the people who contact me and say my convert kit's not working, I can't figure it out, or the people who spend hours and hours trying to perfect their email template, or who think, I'm not sure that, I don't think my lead magnet's ready, so I don't like the graphic design on it, so I'm not going to do it yet. And there's probably a few of you nodding your head right now. And trust me, I did it for a long time as well. If you allow yourself to get caught up in those issues, you're leaving subscribers out in the world, and you're not giving them the opportunity to get onto your list. So this is about giving you the opportunity to literally create an email list today or tomorrow. Like you can have an email list done by the end of the week. All I need is an hour of your time, and I will literally take you through every step of the setup, developing your lead magnet, like taking it from I have no idea what to do to having a 1-page lead magnet that you can give to your list now, setting up your email list so that you can get subscribers on board, setting up your landing page so people can put their details in to join your email list, and also setting up an automated email. So within this course, you start with 1, but if you then want to spend the next 2-3 weeks working on creating an email sequence, you can do that. By the time you finish the 57-minute email list challenge, effectively, you will know exactly, like you'll have an automation set up, and you'll know exactly how to add a few more emails to that automation if you want to create a welcome sequence as well.
Yeah.
So basically what the way that it works is you enter your details, hit the button, that gives you access to a video. And within that video, I screen share, like I show you absolutely everything. So what you can do is watch the video, watch 5 minutes of it. I'll show you what to do, pause it, go and do it, and then come back. If you've got 2 screens, it's even better. You can put me on one screen and your stuff on the other and just do it as we go.
Yeah.
But yeah, basically the point is that you go from 0 email list, or an email list that's not working for you right now. If you've been trying to get one set up and it's just not quite going yet, jump on this, grab this freebie, and I'll teach you exactly how to go from 0 to email lists in the next hour.
That's incredible. And that's so powerful. Thank you so much for making that available to the audience, because I know some of you might be listening and thinking, that's what I need. That's what I need. I've been trying on my own to do it for so long, and I didn't know what to press and where to go. I'm not a tech savvy person. So definitely,
and that's totally
by all
okay.
means.
You don't need to be a tech savvy person to have a solid email list. I promise you. Like once you've set up this one funnel, basically I'll show you how to set up an entire email funnel. Once you've set it up once, you can either like go and watch the video again and to set up a second one, or just like copy and paste it and then just change things. Like you definitely, like once you've got one, you're good to go. And then you can build your entire business and your entire lead generation strategy around that once you have the first one.
Exactly.
So that's what this is about, getting that first one done and dusted and out into the world. So while you're working on like tinkering with things and putting on the finishing touches, you can still be getting leads on your list, because the what's that saying, that the best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago and the next best time is today. It's exactly the same with your list. The best time to start your list was when you started your business, and the next best time is now. So get it done.
Get it done. Right. So for those of you listening, go down to my show notes, go and click on the link there, and you'll obviously go and get access to this video so you can start today to get your email list up and running. Tara, I just wanted to say thank you so much for your time here on the podcast. I know it's quite late in Australia. It's already evening for you there, but thank you so much for your time.
10 p.m., but that's okay. You're very welcome. It's lovely to chat with you always.
Yeah, no, thank you. I really appreciate it. And I appreciate your time being here with us and sharing all your levels of expertise and all the amazing tips. And keep a lookout. We're going to do another podcast and we're going to talk all about storytelling. This is a done deal.
Definitely, yeah.
We're committed to it now. We said
I'll be back. Yeah, I'll be back for sure.
Amazing.
Like, hey, I might do it when I'm in England. Maybe we can actually.
We
should do that.
We'll do it live. Oh, that's going to be fun.
Yeah, we should do that. That'd be perfect.
Tara, thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
No
Have a
worries.
good evening. Take care.
I'll talk to you soon.
Bye.